Welcome, darkness, my old friend. This is a new show. The other one, cans of corn. This is your favorite host, and today we've got Jeff Dorchen. Hi, Jeff.
Hi,
Say
how you
something to
doing?
the people out there. This is a new show.
Hello,
The other.
people. I'm sorry about everything. It's not my fault. I'm just sorry for everything.
Me too. Makes two of us already.
Yes. I had this brilliant idea, which I think you were going along with pre-show, which was that now that I'm thinking of it, that we, the people, should package our misery, different forms of misery, like loneliness and starvation and just illness, and chop it all up and make mixed derivatives out of it, and make it into a new financial product that the casino finance industry people can gamble on, and but it, we would get at least some of the proceeds somehow. Maybe I don't know how things work. I don't.
Yeah,
Let's face it.
I don't want to really think about it because eventually you get part of the misery. You just get shares of the misery complex. I don't.
Yes. Oh, that's right. That's it. That's it. Sell shares of the misery derivatives. This is, I don't know, but I mean, obviously they can just make it illegal for us to participate, like they do with a lot of trading. That's just like, yeah, you can't participate, which is why, they're trying to, whatever. They don't want the GameStop thing to happen. The whole normal people or day traders or small penny stock people uh, manipulating the market through mass activity.
Yeah, we cannot have that.
No, can't have that. Can't have normal people doing things. Normal people are there to go to work or die, or just get sick. Eventually, there is going to be a big industry, a lot of labor, like steam shoveling all the dead bodies into ditches or wherever they're going to put us all. Um, it really is. I'm sorry to start such a grim note. I
Oh, we're
believe I'm really.
starting it off on the right note, Jeff. Don't be sorry.
Okay.
The people outside there watching, they should be sorry. It's
I
their fault, not ours. We're just sorry, man. Things
this
are
is
what they are. What can you do?
things things are well. What can you do? This is the thing. I will say there is a more hopeful note in my most recent Substack essay, which I might not, which I will be delivering on This Is Hell on the next This Is Hell episode that I'm on. We're we've been on hiatus for the holidays, so and I'm not sure exactly. There we have a tentative date uh of starting Chuck and the gang broadcasting again. This is
Hmm.
hell, everyone.
This is
Um,
hell. Shout out to
uh,
Chuck Nuts and This is Hell and the crew. Tell them about it. What is
oh,
This is Hell?
absolutely, absolutely. Spread the word about This Is Hell, and spread the word about cans of corn, and spread the word about Write Twice a Day, and you will read about a new, possibly mythical publication that I will be starting. That is the Workers' Voice for Leisure, and or Weevil. We're the Weevils, like the Wobblies, but the Weevils, and we just want leisure, and that's what my new Substack essay is about. And when it gets audio, it'll be even better than it is now. I got a really good one of the best comments I've gotten on any of my essays. I got last night. Uh, so I part of the essay is about. I was reading. Have you read it, David Graeber and David Wengrow, the
Yeah,
Dawn of Everything?
yeah.
Or are
Been
you
a
familiar
while.
with it?
Graeber. Yeah, I'm a fan, of course.
So aside from that, I read that during the COVID when I was I was writing a novel for hire. Oh, I'm a writer if anyone wants to hire me.
Writer for
um,
hire. Another one.
oh yes, if you want to hire me for steam shoveling corpses into the ditch, I can drive. I've driven a forklift.
I can
I've
drive a
driven
Volkswagen.
well, now that's a little different story because they're all different. I can drive a stick and I can drive a forklift. Um, I'd love to be able to fly a plane, but I'm probably going to have to learn how online.
Hmm.
Uh,
So,
what,
tell us about your leisure time. It
so
seems like a luxury, actually.
it's not. That's the thing. Well, you've heard of full luxury communism, which I don't understand, to be honest with you. I think there should be. It's anyway. How it connects with the David Graeber thing. I was reading at the same time. I was reading Amitav Ghosh's book, The Nutmeg's Curse, because I had been reading. I've been kind of as research for my novel. I love Amitav Ghosh. Actually, I think he's a very good writer. If you don't know who he is, check him out. My favorite thing is the first book of the Ibis trilogy, which is called. I can't remember what it's called now. River of Smoke? Could it be? Or something of. I'm going to look it up. But at any rate, the Ibis trilogy. All the books are good. The first one is the best by far. It's about the opium trade between uh, Bengal and China that was carried on by the British
Uh-huh.
in the most disgusting way possible. At any rate, so I was talking about how much I love that book, and a friend of mine said you should read The Nutmeg's Curse. So I was reading The Nutmeg's Curse recently, and I was quite far into it when I started reading one of a couple books by Marshall Solins. Marshall Solins, University of Chicago and other places. He had what do you call it? He was an anthropologist, and he was a mentor of David Graeber, as a lot of very good people were, teachers
Mhm.
of his, including Michael Hudson, who is helping the BRICS um, with their attempt to have a non-dollar economic zone. At any rate, hello. It's easy to get distracted, especially with all the coffee I'm drinking. When
I don't have enough coffee. I need more coffee.
I would share mine, but it's all mine. At any rate, I was reading. So Solons's big point is that I was reading a book called Stone Age Economics, and he just did all his research is about how many hours uh, primitive societies, hunter gatherer societies, that some of which exist now, and they're dying. Hunter gatherer societies, how many hours people put in, how productive they are, and he concludes by their standard of living, expected expectations, and what their objectives are. They have a they have abundance, whereas our economies operate on shortages.
Hmm.
Uh, they the general attitude has been, or I think the popular idea has been that for much of human history, or prehistory, we've been living in deprivation, constantly searching for calories and shelter, and running away from animals eating us. And uh, I think what Graeber and Wengrow have to say is along the lines of what Solons has to say, which is that a lot of organized, a lot of the way society was organized before agriculture became a an early form of hoarding by elites and distribution, grudging distribution by elites. Uh, Before that, there was a immense leisure time where you could go and you'd have potlatches and parties, and you'd exchange culture with other groups, and you'd learn crafts, you'd invent crafts, you would invent songs, you'd make art, and there was immense amounts of leisure. And plus, he like does this whole analysis about productivity that is just amazing. I don't know how he doesn't know how accurate it is. I mean, he's dead. I'm sorry, he died last year. But
Yeah.
but what's that? Oh, not David, not Graeber. Graeber, yeah, died in like
Yeah, a while ago.
2019, just before the book came, the Dawn of Everything came out, which was really sad. But he did. I don't know. He was great. He was fun. He's still fun. I find new things in his stuff all the time. But Solins just talks about how much higher the productivity was with the shorter hours, and I don't know. I mean, obviously, we're not all going to become hunter gatherers. Or maybe we are, since as C. Derek Varn, your last guest, pointed out, the current administration, at least in the United States, but which is probably going to be a pattern followed all over the world, certainly in Hungary and wherever fascism is sold. The power structure is raiding the state coffers, draining the last of it, and creating a bunch of private monopolies, and then getting out, going to live on an island, going to live on a rape island somewhere. Their dreams come true.
We also got the cold ones, here in Europe, like Iceland,
Oh
where
yeah,
they really showed up a few times in my newsfeed with things like basic income for artists was like, I don't know, 1,500 euros. Not too much, but enough to stay afloat when you actually don't have an income right now.
Finland also.
Yeah, they also working on actually lowering the working hours. There you go. I mean, that's Marxism. Working against this scarcity by design, and we really need that if you want capitalism. You actually have a whole different set of opportunities when you don't need capital and profit out of everything. But it's so hard to imagine, man. I mean,
it is hard to imagine, but if you realize that markets aren't necessarily capitalist.
No.
Capitalism isn't, and Marx, they're not synonymous. That's why there's two different words.
Right. There's the relations of exploitation, and then there's the markets,
Yeah.
And when you work with both things, simultaneously. Oh my God, this word, English. I should do this. Yes. Thank you. Then, yeah, that's essentially. Oh my God, it's a mistake, man. It's just a mistake.
It is. Yeah. No, I have a friend who calls himself a socialist. I believe he is a socialist in his heart. He is from Scandinavia originally, but now he lives in where is he? Oh, in New Zealand, and he is very, very enamored with the Finnish circular or donut economy, trying to make sure waste is not created. Everything is recycled. Pardon me. Hello. I made the most delicious soup. One thing that I do a lot is cook, and I'm not that great at it. I'm pretty good at it sometimes. I'm good enough for myself.
I bet. What kind of a soup?
This is the most. This is a hugely. Usually, there's some meat in my soup. There's chicken stock in this soup, but it's mostly just vegetables and some black beans,
Oh,
mushrooms. It's the vegetables are. We had a Christmas party at the place that I was dog sitting. The people who, the owners, had a Christmas party that I was invited to, and they're my friends. And there was a crudité plate, and it was for. Oh my God, this was amazing. Pardon me while I wax nostalgic over this. I can't remember the name of the dip, but it's Italian. It's like you pulverize these anchovies inside melted butter, and it's just it's insane. And then you dip vegetables in, and or bread, and so there were all these vegetables. But I mean, there was so much food at this thing that the vegetables got not all of them got eaten. In fact, not even a majority of them got eaten. And when I was dog sitting, I was like, I'll make these vegetables in some kind of big casserole or something, but I never did because I was too busy eating other things. And um,
that's life.
but they were safe, so I took them home, took them back to my place, along with a half a head of or 3/4 of a head of roast cabbage, roasted with potatoes and turnips and all this stuff, and I chopped it all up, and it's in a soup. And I had some black beans. I was a little scared. Is it possible to share things from my screen to you, or is that's way too much technology? Forget it. All right, I there was something on sale. It was a brined Danish sheep cheese. It was like $10, normally $16. To a Jewish person, that's almost half price. And I bought the can, about this tall can, and I ate all the cheese eventually. But I still had the can. So I before I went dog sitting, I had made all these black beans, and I had them in this can. When I came back from the dog sit, I opened my refrigerator, and I was like, "There's a red disc sitting at the bottom of the fridge." And I'm like, what is that thing? Oh, it's the lid of the can. And the can was in the door. The can had the lid off of it, but I smelled there's nothing wrong. It wasn't spoiled or anything. It didn't explode. It's just that the gas built up enough to pop the lid. But it was, anyway, it was good. So those beans went in the soup too. And I also found like a pound and a half of mushrooms for a ridiculous bargain. At there's a lot at our grocery stores here. There's a lot of things that go off or are past dated or something get a little sticker that says manager special, and they're ridiculous. So this was like $3 for a pound and a half of mushrooms. Mushrooms are generally $4 a pound at least.
Yeah.
So that was pretty good. I jumped on that. I'm always looking to make a lot of mushrooms.
Tell us about this, Jeff. Tell us
About
about living as an artist. You seem to
living
be
as an
very flexible with that. Dog sitting, doing stuff for business, advertising. You are writing wherever you go. How do you make it? How do you make it happen?
well, I was born a white boy, and in the I would say upper working class or lower middle class or medium middle class. I don't know. My dad was the first professional in his family. He's an architect, but when he started as an architect, he worked for Albert Kahn, very famous firm, two architects, and so we lived in a neighborhood of such people who were like managers and professionals
Hmm.
of one kind or another, but they're just like starter professionals. And these are starter homes for starter people, and now uh, they're mostly Hasidic and Chaldean, or they were transferring to that demographic. But there were it was reasonably mixed. Not it was mostly white Jewish people in my side of town.
Hmm.
And so, I mean, I think there's no substitute for the luck of being born with an economic support system, uh, hardworking grandparents, really great. My grandfather came over from Belarus. My grandmother came from Belarus also, but she came a little later in her life. She illegally crossed the border from Canada into Detroit. She worked in a factory. Anyway, they it was a time when you could you had more class mobility, and eventually Jewish people became relatively white. I would think I can pass as white. I think. Look at these eyes. You can't see how blue they are, but
I think he said, not with that face. You're too red.
at any rate, so that's one. So I have great support. I went to college, so I have been able to work sometimes teaching. Uh, uh, I I drove Lyft and Uber for 3 years, which was the worst. I mean, it wasn't like a it's it's nice to you make your own schedule. It's not onerous work necessarily. What's onerous about it is that the they're taking advantage of you. Like exploitation is never as obvious, although when I was teaching, it was pretty obvious when they're like, "You don't deserve it, right? You don't even deserve to make the money we're paying you now." Like, you're not doing. What are you doing? You run. Oh my
Yeah.
God, this guy who ran. I don't even remember, some cosmetics company was also put as the the head of the city colleges of Chicago, and so I was working for that jerk. And anyway, so yeah, uh, I am not. I gotta say, I worry a lot. I, but I have friends. I have kind of by I have some rich friends that I've met through friends who are not rich but present themselves well, and now they're rich. Some of them.
Tell him about
Um,
the show.
the show. Which show?
Which
This is hell.
show? Not this show. No, not this show. Not this show.
This is hell.
No, no, forget about it. Forget about it.
um, so my a friend of mine. I want to tell you about my friend uh, who founded a natural products company. And I want to tell you about my other friend who met my other friend who I've known since we were 9 years old, and he's my writing partner. And we made a movie. Oh yeah, we
Oh,
made a
cool.
movie. That happened. That happened. We could not have made. I could not have made the movie. I mean, I think if I had to, I could. I've made a short film that I don't want to talk about. Not because it wasn't good. Not because it wasn't good. It was actually good. It's because I destroyed it.
Oh
A-
no.
After because I'm a resentful idiot. It was stupid. It was one of the stupider things I've done in my life.
Wow.
But it was also it was like the sound was a wild track. I didn't I there's other things. There were other things. There were shots that I felt like I was forced to get that I didn't like. But now that I think about it, it was such a nice little film. At any rate, that would be the level of film. It would be on I would be shooting things on Super 8. Although now I would be shooting things on an iPhone. At any rate, luckily I have very enterprising friends who help me a lot. And they don't mind helping me, and they understand. Hey, he's got an abrasive personality. He's short and bald-headed and overweight, and he is belligerent often and has a short temper. So he's going to be poor. So we don't mind, helping him out, lending him a hand. And that's the kind of friends and family that I have.
Nice.
I feel like they're like as grumpy and grouchy as I am, which I might not come off that way now, but yeah, I can be a miserable wretch.
Yeah, they tell me the same about myself sometimes.
Oh, good. It's good not to be alone in this. I feel like everybody's got a hard road, and some people. I found out that I think I've every month for various reasons I get on a Zoom meeting with a bunch of animators
Mhm.
just because they're friends of a friend from Chicago, from the performance scene and video making scene. I was in a pilot that was made for MTV that never got. I don't think it. I mean, I'm not sure it ever got seen, but it was fun to make. It was a huge production for us, for our level of dirty people in Chicago, and like storefront theater people. And although some of them were graduates from the School of the Art Institute, which is which for elite people though are pretty down at heel, I think. But then I have a weird scale. Like, I mean, there are people starving everywhere, and I'm not one of them. That astounds me. At any rate, I I meet with them every month just because we're friends, and I forgot where I was going with that. They they imparted some wisdom to me, but I can't remember what it was. Probably didn't stick anyway.
Hmm.
At any rate, they're great people. Uh, what was I'm meeting them actually tomorrow night.
Mhm.
We meet the first Friday of every month, except this month because we also had a New Year's party or a Christmas Eve Zoom party, so it was too close together. So we thought we'd spread it out, or they thought we'd spread it out. I don't make any decisions in that group of people. But those guys are using a lot of AI, but they're using it in a way that actually kind of makes sense. Like they are artists, so they'll make
Ah,
art and they'll make the
yeah,
first panel of a sequence and the last panel of a sequence, and AI will fill the motion in, so they don't have to paint every panel, and a lot of it looks good. I mean, it's AI, but
yeah.
but they're good artists, so it looks like their work, which
Mhm.
is better than your normal AI.
Yeah, I see.
But those people again, people that it's just there's a I despite uh my lack of social skills, I have been really lucky. I feel like I have webs and tentacles in different friend pots,
Mhm.
like all over the place, and I think that's really necessary. Uh, and I mean, I'm again, I'm worried, a little worried about my hermit friend in the wilds of Pennsylvania, West Pennsylvania. Number one, because West Pennsylvania is Trump country, and number two, because she's out there with no electricity and no running water. But she chops wood.
Yeah,
She's in good health, except for her hearing, which is getting worse and worse. She has animals to protect her.
sounds like my mom. she would do the same.
Really?
Yeah,
What did your
she's
mom do?
well, she's just doing her own shit with her garden, her plants,
Mhm.
her oven, and whatnot, and she don't really needs electricity in that sense, like
Right.
media, handies, all that kind of stuff. She's happy with
Oh, yeah.
being with nature, getting the hands dirty in the dirt, getting stuff out of it, getting food out. It's amazing kind of stuff
That
she
is,
does.
it is magic. Farming is magic.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean, just
nice.
the earth, how the earth makes things grow and
Yeah.
live. I mean, I just remember thinking when I was a kid, not this had nothing. It really is a pretty recent revelation to me how magical that stuff is. But I remember just being. I grew up in a suburb of Detroit, so there wasn't a lot of farming there, and it- I was I the fact that cars could move around, the fact that people could move around. When you look at a rock, and I would think of rock as like the most primal piece of earth
Hmm.
nature, and that's a wrong way to look at it, but that's how it that's I'm a wrong guy. Um, but I was
No,
like,
you're not.
how does shit get from this to an automobile or an airplane or a person? And that whole thing is, I mean, that's a whole cosmological thing that I just don't have the. I could tell you my theory, but I and I probably will throughout this whole thing.
Uh,
Uh, but yeah, no,
I can relate with that. It's so much annoying details stuff that's just boring. It's just machines
yes,
and processes and parts
but
and putting parts together and all this positivist nightmare unfolding, and you got to
but
deal with it.
it's true. But I have to say, I feel like I I would not be a writer as even I don't know if I'm a writer, but I wouldn't be much of a writer, or my house, at least I might be living in a canyon made out of papers, just like, because I was always like, this has got to be a better way. Like, I couldn't type a clean page of text. I couldn't. I mean, handwriting, but somebody's got to type it. It's got to the ability to make it readable and make it presentable and make it into something that somebody could print or somebody could look at was so beyond me. It was so. I mean, I would do it. I would type. It was a chore, and I was like, they gotta create a machine where you can fix it before you print it. And
Mhm.
then these word processors came, and I'm like, well, word processor, wow, that's a great thing. That's what I need. And then these computers, and it's like, this is it.
Mhm.
This totally saved my life. I was totally on board. Of course, now, I mean, I so I don't I I'm like, this is good, but now stop. Now don't do the rest of stuff. And of course, civilization doesn't do that. It's a train. It's a runaway train. Civilization.
Talk about it.
um. So, but about we this it would really be nice if they just if the if well if they if things were distributed more fairly. I think about that a lot.
Mm.
I don't know, or
Yeah.
if we could just scale back, but not the people who don't have anything. They don't need to scale back.
Yeah.
Poor people don't need to scale back.
No.
They don't need to reduce their carbon footprint. The There are many people with huge, I mean, they don't just have a huge footprint, they have a huge feet. They're just stomping on everybody. They could stand to scale way back. I
Mm.
was listening to uh, a podcast by an astrophysicist who's also, oh no, he's not an astrophysicist, he's a quantum physicist, and he's also a philosophy professor. So he's both, and he's professional at both. And his name is Sean Carroll. He has a podcast called Mindscape, and he's a very intelligent guy. But when it comes to distribution, he's not. And I really want to say to him, you're an intelligent guy. He says, what I would like, I don't think you should get rid of billionaires. I think everybody should be a billionaire. And I'm like, well, everybody can't be a billionaire because a billionaire is someone who has an astronomical amount of stuff they don't ever use and power that they shouldn't be able to use. It's
Yeah, that's one thing. And the other is I actually had some notes in the hand, like actual banknotes from the German Weimar Republic time,
Oh
where
wow.
banknotes were like billions and trillions and fascinillions, and you had those numbers of zeros. I never saw some. I was like, man, I'm rich. Look at this money, Dad. And they'd be like, you stupid little boy, man. This is inflation. You
It's
know,
inflation.
what's inflation? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, no,
money.
we all will be billionaires in a sense one day because nothing. Our money
So
is not.
I don't know, moving the baseline up sounds like a nice idea at first glance, but then when you realize you gotta pay 3 millions for a piece of bread, then yeah, I don't know, maybe let's just eat the rich instead. Like, let's not stay with bread, like actually eating, but this whole class of super rich, do we really? Why
We
do we
don't.
even? What's happening there? I mean,
Well, they like to think that they make the world go round. I don't think they. I mean, I'm sure some of them. I don't know. Most of them probably haven't done hard work like construction or
mhm,
painting, house painting, or farming, or picking vegetables. They're just removed from it, or cleaning, or driving other people around, or carrying things for other people. It's like, well, what do you think? Life is just about you thinking of ways to make your numbers bigger or to make your reputation look shinier. I mean, I'm gauging from the most obnoxious, uh, almost trillionaires that we have now, who, I mean, Musk and Yarvis, whatever his name, Curtis Yarvin and Peter Thiel, and these people are really, they just seem to have the same mental illness that's caused by having astronomical wealth,
mm.
hoarded wealth that is, it's it's just, not only is it not necessary, it's just destructive, and destructive to them and destructive to the rest of the civilization, which
Well,
I'm not sure was a good project anyway.
seems more like an accident. More like an accident we could actually learn something from, and I don't know, maybe not just reproduce it for the future. Uh,
That would be good. I would like to not. I would like to. I would like to leave the world better than I found it.
right?
However, I don't know. So there's the great thing about the Solons thing, and the comment that I got from the reader of the. I forget whether we talked about this during the. Uh, oh, it was before we went live. So my new essay is about my reading of Marshall Solons and Amitav Ghosh, and the echoes of the David Graeber Wengrow book, uh, The Dawn of Everything, uh, reading against that, and the comment of the essay is just about how what I was reading and how it made me feel. And what I was reading and how it made me feel was like how the commenter felt about this one particular Solins quote, which is about that progress. What our accepted wisdom about progress is that technology is making the world better. And Steven Pinker, that jerk, has a book about how much better everything is. And uh, the Solins thesis that he was talking about was, it's like maybe I should just read the quote to you, because it's a really good quote. I wonder if I can find it without ruining my day.
Ruin it now.
Ruin it. Okay. Above all, what about the world today? 1/3 to 1/2 of humanity are said to go to bed hungry every night. In the old Stone Age, the fraction must have been much smaller. This is the era of hunger unprecedented. Now, in the time of the greatest technical power, is starvation an institution. Reverse another venerable formula. The amount of hunger increases relatively and absolutely with the evolution of culture. This paradox is my whole point. Hunters and gatherers have, by force of circumstances, an objectively low standard of living. But taken as their objective and given their adequate means of production, all the people's material wants usually can be satisfied. The evolution of economy has known then two contradictory movements: enriching, but at the same time impoverishing. I don't know. I like that.
Yeah, like it a lot.
And I think and it's not just, I'm not saying, oh, we should all live like Stone Age people, uh, because some people are, and they're hunting and gathering things from the urban landscape and from the rural landscape. And I think the people doing it in the rural landscape might be having a better time, but a lot of the countryside is cordoned off by private property, and toxic, because often we dump our urban waste into the countryside. And or there's a guy up where we go in northern Michigan, who has a gravel pit. He thinks it's the greatest thing, gravel pit, and he wants to expand his gravel pit. But the zoning for the zoning for his area limits the size of his gravel pit, and he wants it to be much larger. And so he joined the the it's the council. I don't know. I guess it's a Banks Township Council, and they he and another really actual fascist um, are both on it. They figured out, they were just like, we got to take control of this thing. So, but they haven't. They're in the minority so far. But they want all zoning regulations to be, just the idea of zoning to be repealed. Like no zoning laws. So let the owners of private property decide what they can do, regardless of it, if it pollutes the water, if it spoils the I mean, this is the Great Lakes we're talking about. Oh, but the guy with the gravel pit says, I promise the price of gravel will go down. It'll be really cheap. They're trying to woo people with cheap gravel. There used to be a joke when we were in college that a friend of mine was like, after the revolution, there will be enough dog and gravel for everyone. And So this guy's peddling cheap gravel as some kind of temptation.
The
Some kind of
gravel pit universe strikes back.
oh, I wonder if he would actually. I think he might stop short of turning the entire universe into gravel,
Mhm.
but I'm not sure of that.
I'm not sure either.
I um
And that's the thing that capitalism does to us city apes. You get this pair of glasses, and suddenly there's profits, and there's this dollar sign above your gravel pit, and you realize, oh, it's about the size and the amount
yeah,
of gravel I get out of this. So
yes, the more
my gravel pit has to eat the fucking village. It's in the way.
it's true, and there's no. And the thing is, the imagination then goes the bigger the better.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with the imagination about low overhead. It's like, well, low overhead means my profits will be bigger. So let's just not feed our workers any food and not give them anywhere to live. And
And
then
no,
you don't realize, oh, wait, all my workers are dead. Or, oh, no, nobody wants to work anymore.
I wonder why that is.
Isn't that good? Didn't you want nobody to work because you didn't want to pay them? Ah,
Yeah.
who is the uh, this is a off topic. Allison Huber was a guest of yours
Yes.
early on. Yes,
Mhm.
think she's great. I
Yeah.
how do you know her?
Old friend of mine. I don't even know
Oh,
really.
very cool. So I just have one disagreement with her, and I wanted to.
I have a few. That's fine.
uh,
That's why it works.
yes, this book has a lot of dust on it, but she was talking about Bartolome de las Casas, the bishop, a clergyman,
Ah, yeah.
originally a conquistador. I don't think that's a fair. Well, I don't know. Whatever. In the sense that I'm a conquistador. No, I don't know. Anyway, uh, so she was a little hard on him, and I guess he deserves to. He did abolish. He did a lot of work to abolish too late um, slavery of indigenous people in the Americas. Sadly, it led to slavery of indigenous people from Africa,
Mhm.
replacing that, which he eventually said, "This is not. I don't think this is a good solution to the slavery problem. Having other slaves from another place." But as mixed a blessing as he did inspire this guy, Gustavo Gutierrez, who wrote this book, The Power of the Poor in History. He also wrote A Theology of Liberation. He was uh, one of the founders of liberation theology, and Bartolome de las Casas was one of his inspirations, and one of the inspirations of liberation theology. And I think that's pretty worthwhile. Uh, I got to study under this guy at University of Michigan for a semester. He passed away a few years ago, but he was very inspiring, and I kind of was thinking of becoming a socialist Catholic, which would have probably, I don't know, not 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 made my relatives very happy. And it probably would have confused just but it made it just understanding a a a religion, where in the religion it found. I mean, you think religion, wow, what a, it wants you to be good, it wants you to be kind, it's a religion. I mean, we can do that without religion, but understanding like where it comes from in a religion was attractive enough to make me go, wow, this makes so much sense. This is a very good argument. You Whatever, the creator created life, and so life is the thing the creator values. And so death, while inevitable in a society, when death is not inevitable and is the result of human activity or human intention, uh, is against what the creator's intentions are. So there's the uh, there's the sense in the religion that preservation of life and opposition to death is where the theology uh, comes from, and then so the power of the poor, the the one of the main tenets of liberation theology is the preferential option for the poor, which is that the poor, because they have a special relationship with violence and death, because they don't have armies, they don't have police to help them in their interest, because they don't own a lot of private property, uh, it is the clergy who have to say the poor get our attention first because they're more vulnerable to death and violence. Anyway, that's just the details of it become very attractive.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I've
So
be-
I can,
I've become a digger very quick, reading into the true diggers and their revolution. That was fascinating. Or
oh yeah,
Thomas Munster, I think it was Munster. Um,
I don't really know enough about them. I should dig into that.
yeah, to dig into the peasant revolts and the
Oh
early
yeah.
proto-communists, or how do they call them? I don't know. Uh,
Well, there wasn't. This is from fighting against the division of the commons into pieces of property for the elite,
yeah, exactly.
where people used to graze their cattle or gather their nuts in May,
Mhm.
and then they're not allowed to because there's a fence around it, and a sheriff telling you you cannot pick these nuts. These nuts belong to the Duke.
Oh no. These Duke's nuts, man.
But the Duke can't eat all those nuts. Can't I just have a couple of nuts? I'm really hungry. No, I'm afraid the Duke owns all the nuts beyond this point. Nothing I can do about it. That's just the way the law works. Well, but maybe I could talk to the Duke. No, you can't talk to the Duke. But can I talk to you? No, I got to follow the law.
I gotta follow orders.
Got to follow the orders. Ah, it's a wild world. So yeah, that ties into the Solins, uh, Amitav Ghosh, David Graeber, David Wengrow idea that hey, uh, people used to gather and hunt, and now they can eat. They have to live in. Some of them have to live in. They're lucky to get tarps under a bridge, and even that is illegal. Like it's not like you can't just not. It's interesting that people are talking about food forests, having public food forests, which I'm sure they have. They have in certain places, and even in some places in the United States, maybe even more than other places. I don't know, but it's so antithetical to the way the rest of society is going, where it's making poverty and uh, enjoying public spaces harder and harder to the point of being illegal.
Yeah.
It's like I guess there have always been forces of authority and forces of the people.
Yeah.
We have a hard time naming the countervalent force against authority because a lot of us don't like one group's definition of whatever this nameless countervailing force is. Is it going to be Democratic Socialist Party? Is it going to be labor power? Is it going to be popular power? Is it going to be Black Lives Matter? And is it going to be I don't know, trans rights? If we talk about the most vulnerable, are they the most vulnerable? Are you the most vulnerable? Who's the most vulnerable? Who should be our flagship warrior or warrior slash vulnerable person, vulnerable population? The indigenous. I mean, the indigenous is what I'm looking at when I look at Amitav Ghosh's writing and Marshall Solins and Wengrow, but you can't not the idea of, and I think this is the the impulse behind behind making the war on Gaza a settler colonial war, which in part it is, but that doesn't explain everything. And I think the diagram of indigeneity and settler colonialism has limited use. I think it has limited use for us here, and it has limited use, although it's probably more useful there because the violence is so extreme on the one side, and so lopsided. It's such a, what do they call that when it's asymmetrical?
Disparity
Asymmetrical.
of, yeah,
Asymmetrical.
the disparity of power. I think that's it. Right?
That's one of them.
Yeah.
So, but so these are all good illustrations, or not good illustrations, good examples and important examples uh, of disparity, of power disparity. But what is the organizing principle? What is the thing that will get us all together? Like, they just murdered a woman last night in Minneapolis, and we're all
ICE.
running around
Yeah.
angry. ICE, and it's really important to resist ICE.
I think there's also good news. I saw what the mayor of the city did. Like,
Oh yeah,
fuck ICE, get the fuck out of here. He was actually swearing. That was
oh yeah.
went down like fucking hand oil. And I think he already prevented more violence with just being straight, honest, and real about it.
Yeah,
And that's a good sign. So
it is. It is
there,
a good sign. We
there's
take
hope.
every good sign.
Right. And for me personally, I'm always going back to Erich Fromm and fear of freedom and the cope that is the authoritarian personality. And I see that in all kinds of fractions or factions of society because this seems to be the way we deal with power, with our fear, with the disparities of power. And maybe there's a way to punch through all that and rediscover freedom as something we do not have to fear, as something we can use to build solidarity, to stand up for each other. And that's what I see in that. So, but I'm an
No,
optimist.
that's it. It's interesting. It's such an interesting problem being in a society, especially a global civilization, or one that sees itself that way, which it is. But I mean, it's also very atomized in a lot of ways, and
Mhm.
but you do have to have each each quanta of civilization is a human being, or it, yes, I mean, talking about human civilization, not dog civilization or ant civilization, human civilization. And when you're working on yourself and your interactions with other individuals, it 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 is about conquering fear. I think it's all about, in many ways, the life is about either conquering or somehow channeling
Mhm.
fear, just in either a productive way or a way that doesn't destroy you.
Yeah, that's where alchemy comes into play. That's transmutation.
I I feel, but and I also, it's also, uh, you don't want it to destroy yourself, of course, and you don't want it to be a negative. This is something, like, do we is it a personality issue that makes people uh not care whether the rest of society is made better or not,
Hmm.
or is it just is it a belief system? What is it? Is there anything that we can do as self-appointed
Experts.
representatives? I'm not even experts, just like every person teaches other people. Just every individual is an example of humanity, and everybody looks at them and sees what they do. And I look at myself and I go, I'm not a great example, but I can't always live as an example. uh, but the 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 point, there was a point here.
Yeah, I see your point. Civilization has to be born every day, man.
Yeah, yeah, and we one of the things that sometimes comes out uh, at in the This Is Hell show is that I'm still very attached to a theater company
Mhm.
that I started, which was uh, an attempt at anarchist collaboration. I don't know how it got that way, but it was agreed upon in many ways, very naturally, and it still exists. It was founded in, we could say, in 1984. I think it became officially a non-director produced theater, created theater. So there's no director. There's a writer, and so in that sense, the writer is privileged as a originator and as sort of above, but the writer has to be in the show, so they have to be in the actual activity. I don't know if it's not the case now, that but the theater company still exists, but the writer is almost never in the show now. But for a long time, the writer had to be in the show, so they have to be part of the mechanism that creates the process of working amongst uh, 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 equals, amongst a little organization of equals, trying to figure out how in a world where the director is the norm. I mean, the director is the captain of the ship. The director tells you what to do. The director tells you where you stand and not what to say. Although the writer in our uh, scheme was told you what to say, but even then you could say other things. We had a thing called actor's prerogative. The actor could say something else. Actors often wrote their own monologues or created their own lines or said, "Can we change this?" And yes, there had to be some kind of consensus, virtual consensus. Although, I mean, I remember I used to give notes over and over, and I was like, he's not taking my note. And someone was like, Well, just stop giving it then.
Stop
Like,
giving
oh, okay. I mean, it was really a big lesson. It's like I keep telling this guy to do something, he's not doing it. It's like, yeah,
Stop
unless you're
doing
going to
it.
hire a policeman to make him do it, just shut up. That's it. He got the note. He or she,
They
they got the
know.
note.
Shut
They
the
got the
fuck
note, and
up.
they were like, "Yeah, okay, I heard you. I took the note. I took it into my head, and I've evaluated it, and now it's my decision whether to use your note to change my performance or not." And I have decided not to. And you can stop telling me to do the same thing over and over. It's I,
It's a
I
learning curve. It's a
it
learning
is.
process.
I mean, just being in the world, and that was a really. But so I'm again the network of people that I'm still, despite my obnoxious behavior,
Or
despite
maybe that's why. That's why they love you. Admit it.
maybe I don't.
You're being real.
I want to say that I want to say that I I don't I don't I would never hold myself up as a model of behavior or a model of thinking. But I also understand that people will look at another person and listen to them, and they might hear something worthwhile and and assimilate that. And hopefully don't I don't inspire anybody to assimilate my bad habits, and what what crumbs of wisdom do stray off the bread we break together. They're welcome to. I mean, they're welcome to anything. I am actually ready to be cannibalized by hungry people if that's what they want. I kind of would. I often fantasized about uh willing make about somehow communicating my desire to be made into delicious food for my friends when I die. And I I I I think one day technologically it will be possible. And I don't want to have to trick them, but I also think culturally maybe it will be something. I mean, we might have to resort to
I
cannibalism
don't
if
want to think about it.
well, look, there
Soylent
might be
Green is people. It's all Jeff Dorchen. Don't touch Soylent Green.
Soylent Green is, yes, it's all Jeff Dorchen. There's a little bit of Jeff Dorchen in everybody.
I like that.
I don't think now that you put it that way, you're right. It's not a good idea. Man. I want to refer to another book, and I don't know where this is going to go. I don't have a point, but
We don't need points.
have you read The Cheese and the Worms
No, I didn't.
by Carlo Ginzburg?
No.
Now, The Cheese and the Worms, Carlo Ginzburg is a of historian of epistemology,
Oh,
I think. I don't know. I mean, I was introduced to this book, and I haven't read other book. I've read other essays of his, but I haven't read other books by him. But The Cheese and the Worms is great because it's about this medieval Italian guy who's just like, well, he just comes up with his own cosmology, and he starts telling people, well, this is how things work, and this is how life came about, and this is how, and he gets in trouble and he gets killed by the church. But it's so interesting that this guy, not a famous guy and not a scholar, I don't know if he was even literate, but it's been a long time since I read the book. God, it would be a great movie. I would love to work on that movie. Hey, Carlo, why don't you sell me and your friend who you met last year in Bologna, I believe, Dan Barron, who is my writing partner. why don't you sell us the rights to the cheese and the worms for $1 and let us work on making a movie out? I just a proposal. I don't know if you're ever going to see this. Maybe our friend Paul could get the proposal to you. Anyway, it's fascinating to me that there's a guy in such what we think of as an oppressive culture, epistemologically and just activity wise and freedom wise, and that he could come up with this diagram of the way life happens, and that was so counter to the church.
Uh-huh.
And he wasn't a revolutionary. He was just a guy.
Uh-huh.
He was just some guy. I don't even know what he did. I assume he farmed. It's in the book, but I'm not going to read the book right now. Again, I've read
Totally
it.
inspiring people. I
I
like
should
this.
probably. It is though. It is.
Yeah.
It's like what, and that's. I feel like that's me. Maybe I'm less humble or more humble, but I'm a crackpot, and I walk around and have my part of the entertainment of living. To me, is wondering about stuff I have no certified business wondering about. That I wonder about cosmology. I listen to physicists talk and I think, wow, I'm going to think about that. I can't do any of the math, but it's not all math. A lot of physicists write words when they write about physics. There's words involved in physics. There's ideas that can be expressed in words. A lot of them you have to do math to be a physicist, especially a quantum physicist. Just because it's all math. I mean, it's like you can't really touch a wave function.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's why the mathematicians I know used to say, everything is math, like the whole universe. And I got into the movie P and had my time with that.
Well, that's the thing. Math is even this. It's a description of there really is reality, or at least let's just. The interesting thing about this physicist that I was talking about, the quantum physicist Sean Carroll with his podcast, who, in spite of his wanting everybody to be a billionaire, he's a material. He's a material. He's like, the world is real. It's really there. Math is a description of it. And this is a physicist, mind you. Math is a description of the world. It is not the world.
Yeah, it's like poetry.
Despite what Pi thinks.
Yeah, it's like poetry. It's not
right.
It's not the letters.
But I do think that poetry is an organism. I do think that there is a reality to language that is beyond what we think of as its materiality, or even what we generally think of as what we can perceive about it. Because I had an idea for something that never materialized because it's so hard to make it materialize because it's not about material things. That there are two language organisms, let's say. There are any number of language organisms in my opinion, but let's say there's the corporate capitalistic language, even just the multinational corporate organism of that language. That language is, and those ideas are an organism. And I'm waving my hands around. And then poetry is elsewhere, another organism. But in a certain way, they are antagonistic, or they are competing, or I don't know. They're interacting in some way. And I mean, the arts are another organism. Art, the idea of art. This is just a very mushy idea that doesn't really do much, but it's interesting to think about.
Yeah, made me think of Newspeak. Like
Of what now?
of Newspeak, this
Oh,
Orwellian term, of
oh yeah.
propaganda as a culture, essentially, of euphemisms and spin.
Oh yeah.
So
Uh,
we live in that, and I get a lot of inspirations from that and from the politicians involved with this kind of bullshit. So yeah, there's this
you,
interplay, and I bet they get inspired by artists as well. So there you go.
they they do. They get offended by artists too. They get and they get inspired by a lot of the wrong artists, like Ayn Rand, who yeah, yeah, just don't get. I don't know what to call. I don't want her art in my culture. I don't want it to be called art.
Yeah, it's
And
like thinking
luckily, I'm
about Adolf Hitler painting little postcards. He was a painter. I'm a
yes,
painter. I don't like this guy in my.
yes. But I one thing I do like about Hitler. One thing this Jew likes about Hitler is that the example is the meme, or not even the meme. I don't know what it's called. What you call it? The archetypal moment of Hitler being rejected from art school. That people talk about, like, oh, this is the Hitler getting rejected from art school moment. Like, this is the moment when that person became a fascist. Like, you know,
Build
Matt
more
Taibbi.
art schools, reject less people. I mean, it's a lesson in that.
Oh, see that? That is a to me that is a good solution to fascism. It's like, if you want to have less fascists, you gotta have free arts education for anybody who wants it. You gotta accept more people into things.
Mhm.
If things weren't gate, there wasn't so much gatekeeping of everything. If people were more free, then they wouldn't go, oh, I guess I have no choice but to be a fascist now.
Exactly. The authoritarian personality is a cope, and you
Well,
need to cope. So that's what you get. I mean, when people wouldn't have to cope in the first place, then there wouldn't be no need to build up this personality.
we solved that.
We
That
solved
is
the riddle. There we go.
There is now we just have to go back in time and not kill baby Hitler. This is a good solution.
No, just
Not
do
kill
more art
Hitler,
shows.
just get get Hitler into art school. That is such a nice solution. Oh my god, someone's got to write that book. That science fiction.
I
The
want to
book.
see the postcard.
You know what? I think he could have used more schooling. I don't think he had natural talent. I mean, what do I know? What do I know? What am I, an art critic? Kind of.
Could have been formed as some artist. I don't know. There's a lot of wisdom and build up of knowledge involved with that as well. So he seems to be a dumb guy after all. He was a fascist.
Yes. I mean, but you don't have to be dumb to be a fascist.
True. There are many intelligent ones. Yeah.
Many intelligent ones. Although I recently just posted this to a fascist. it was a, it was just a, it was a statement somebody made about there are studies that show that people, conservatives, people who vote, but especially people who vote for authoritarians, are less intelligent. They're just they just testing wise, but how do you test intelligence really anyway? Like, can you really? I mean, when a fascist is in charge, intelligence is going to be a different thing entirely
That's
anyway.
right. That's a good point, and also it's not emotional intelligent. You know,
True.
it's just
True. There's all
intelligence. It's not what I would
well,
care about as a human being in my relationships. I don't know. I like intelligent people, but in the end, when they don't have a heart and I don't know, tough
oh
to
yeah.
deal with.
I'm trying to think of who the stupidest people. No, I'm not. Um, that's the problem with people is not that they're bad. It's that they have too many facets. There's too much to them. The great thing about people is that they're mostly bacteria. They're mostly not even themselves. They're
Mostly
mostly
water. You're fine.
they're mostly water, but yes, and that water has its. I'm starting to lean toward panpsychism. I think this should disqualify me from a lot of things, but I believe that there is just that consciousness is a thing that is not just the activity of our brain cells.
Oh, yeah.
That is, there is consciousness,
Everywhere.
yeah, everywhere outside the human. I mean, humans have a particular kind of consciousness, uh, and artificial intelligence doesn't have it because it's not intelligence, and that is a
Yeah,
misnomer.
yeah.
Artificial
Uh,
intelligence should be called,
Language learning models,
yeah,
and that's how I
something like
call
that.
them.
I call them crap, and they get me very irritated
Very good.
because, um, oh my god, this whole AI thing, it's such a bubble.
It is.
It's
Going
such a
to
bubble.
it's going to bust.
It is going to burst. And the thing is, I was just thinking, well, now wouldn't that be a good organizing principle for the world right now? Is if all the people got together and said, we want to fix this system so that we don't get these bubbles anymore. And that would do a lot. Now, but they tried that, or after the crash of 1929, they thought, all right, we'll try to make it so there aren't these bubbles anymore, these booms and busts, these fluctuations.
Did
And
they really?
see, well, that's the thing. They sort of stalled it, or anyway, Keynes stalled it with his Keynesianism, which became accepted wisdom. And also, that's only a certain segment of the global population that's affected by that. I mean, everybody's affected by it when there's such a absurd concentration of wealth in different places. Some idiot's philosophy can ruin the life of a person in a completely distant country, not even obviously attached to that economy. But anyway, I'm getting all scattered.
Oh no.
Oh no,
We are all over the place. That's all. That's
this is true. We
the
are.
what also led to this theory of techno feudalism, this new
Oh
stage
yeah.
of capitalism where we're in, because this is what Marx actually also thought about, uh, but he defined it that this is the moment where social capital is being played with, and this is not about capitalism in
Oh
the usual sense, but now they're yeah capitalizing on famine, on war, on world war stuff. I mean, look at this
all
shit
right.
in Venezuela. People can bet money on that and make some more and get even more disgustingly rich. I mean,
Oh right, right. the mixed derivatives of misery that
Oh,
you can buy and sell.
no.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I wish I had more of a share in my own misery.
Yes.
More of those kind of shares, more of those buying and selling shares. I should be able to make money off of that. I mean, I could go back to working for Lyft and Uber, and then I can get a little bitty share of my misery back for my trouble. I, 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 I wish I could communicate how offensive the Lyft and Uber model, even though Lyft is ostensibly better, it's
It's not.
better very superficially. It's very superficially better. The model, the system, the model, the mechanism, the social mechanism of the gig driving. I mean, the work is work now is just a relationship of exploitation, and it just it's offensive and sad. And some people get joy out of what they're doing, and good for them. But look around, and like all the problems are because people are stealing from less powerful people and
Mhm.
making them even less powerful. It seems to me. It sure looks like it. We're
Sure
definitely
looks like
not suffering from too much equality.
it. No.
Oh yeah.
I
I don't
wish we
think
would.
I know. Wouldn't that in the despite what I'm just gonna take a breath. I
We're
need to
gonna take
remember.
a breath.
I
We
need to
went
take a
on
breath.
for 1.5 hours. I think so.
Oh my. Did we go over time?
There's no overtime,
Huh.
but
Oh,
maybe we take a break here, and we have you back on soon
oh, that would be
if you want
wonderful because I do want to keep in mind something. I'm going to be thinking about techno feudalism because your last guest, C.
to.
Derek Varn,
Mhm.
said, yeah, he had some objections to the terms techno feudalism.
Yeah,
And I have a different objection.
raise it.
Historians, medievalists are not using feudalism anymore. They don't like it. They don't like that term. They don't think it describes anything real.
That was a short one. No,
All
you
right.
want to explain that?
Oh, no, because I don't understand it. I mean, a little bit. There are some what nobody seems to be able to define what feudalism is. It wasn't really a model everywhere that was widespread and in. It's like it's. Have you ever heard? There's no such thing as a fish.
No.
Have you ever, so the idea is that a fish, like there's no animal that has all the same things that a fish is supposed to have. Like some of them have gills, some of them have fins. I don't know that. I don't believe this. I know what a fish is. I eat fish all the time. Nobody's going to tell me there's no such thing as a fish. Fish are delicious, and they exist.
Mhm.
But that's the thing. It's the definition. There's no universal definition that applies to every species of fish. And there's no universal definition of feudalism that applies to every medieval society or locale. And so they're just like saying, yeah, we got to stop using feudalism. It's just like, no, it doesn't mean anything.
I don't
It's
know.
not the real way things were organized all over the medieval Europe
Hmm.
or medieval Japan or medieval whatever China.
Yeah, that's
Um,
that's true. There's cultural, regional differences. There's a lot
yes.
going on, but you could also bring up a there's no true Scotsman fallacy. You know, it's
Wait,
a
wait,
way
wait,
to there's no true Scotsman.
Well, there's no true Scotsman, but I don't think that's the fallacy you're talking about. I think the fallacy is no true Scotsman would ever use the word feudalism. And then if you claim to be a Scotsman, I'd say, you're obviously not a Scotsman.
Yeah, no, you're talking about
feudalism.
Well
Is
done,
there really
well
no
done.
true Scotsman?
I
There's
don't
got to
know.
be.
Is there really no true feudalism? I don't know.
I'm sure there's.
It probably makes more sense really to talk about oligarchy in that context, and that's probably something everyone could agree upon because that's
Oh
more
yes.
relating to a system of exploitation and power and how that relates to politics and yada yada. But then you could also talk about fascism and corporatism, according more to the lines of Mussolini. And
Oh yeah.
I don't. So yeah.
Yeah, but I think the idea of techno feudalism describes something that and it's worth looking into
True.
what it describes and who the people are who are benefiting from a something that resembles what we think of when we think of feudalism,
Hmm.
whatever that is, if that's real or not. I'll be
Maybe
thinking about it.
something to get at in the future. I don't know.
Yes,
We could think about something else. I don't
yes,
care. Just come back. Let's do this again. This was fun, Jeff.
it was really fun. Thank you for having me, Mr. Corn.
Nice. All right, people. We
Oh,
already.
fix your camera.
No, I won't. It's so nice and dark. All right. Bye bye.
All right.